Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, The Law Life. Today, in this podcast, we will talk about corporate social responsibility that is under Section 135 of the Companies Act, and it is present in Schedule 7. So, today we have with us Satish sir, who will tell us about the legal compliances and legal obligation that a company or a business has towards corporate social responsibility and what companies and as an individual we need to do to protect our environment. So, let's move on to the podcast.
I am CS Satish Bhattu. In practice for last 10 years, and before that I was a company secretary in a multinational company, Colour-Chem Chemicals Ltd, and worked as a company secretary. Also, I have worked there as an R&D chemist, out of which 9 years was in the environment protection laboratories. With this brief understanding, uh, I have understood CSR in an altogether different concept because CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and we must understand here the basics of the corporate responsibility. When we understand corporate responsibility, its main responsibility is to run the business and generate profit for the shareholders. But when the concept of CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, is to be understood, it has to be a little modified that this responsibility extends towards the other stakeholders other than the normal stakeholders like shareholders, etc. So, this particular responsibility is cast upon the corporate since last 10 years in the form of contributing to 2% of the net profits of the last 3 years, and that ratio may go on changing with respect to the compulsion about it, but the whole uh, gimmick is surrounding around the discharging of the responsibility towards the society as such, that is the society at large. As such, the companies are discharging the responsibilities towards the shareholders, towards the government in the form of tax. And it is a must for here to understand that to take care of the society at large, generally it stands with the government. So the government intended that this responsibility is shared by the corporates, and then the objective is that that responsibility will be shared by the corporates in a very methodical management ways which they are adopting for running their business. This is the gist of that whole CSR responsibility. And coming to this environment, we are seeing that day by day the environment is getting polluted with respect to many things like water pollution, air pollution, and now with the glaciers melting, it has come to the alarming level. So now it is the
Yes.
responsibility not only of the government or of the experts in the environment field, but a responsibility of everyone to contribute towards the care which
Hmm.
needs to be taken for this planet. And CSR, to my mind, stands as the best object for discharging this responsibility, because if the funds are available to the education institutes, that awareness of this environment and its protection can be spread by giving knowledge, expanding the awareness of the environment in the schools, in the colleges, as well as the public at large. And as an environmentalist, I have a sincere feeling that the company should begin with giving this awareness of the environment to their employees first, and then other stakeholders, and then gradually coming to this public at large through the education systems. And this this amount which needs to be spent for creating awareness, CSR is the apt source of revenue for others also who are involved in the business of that education and all. That is why as a CSR professional and as an environmentalist, I sincerely feel that these must be directed towards expanding the awareness. And also, CSR being a compulsory expenditure which is required by the companies under Schedule 7 of the Companies Act, it has to be compulsorily spent, and this is the right cause for that. This is what I feel, and I have been writing many articles and sounding the ecosystem with my desire of creating awareness through the uh, national conventions, through my articles, and at many other places. So I would like to create awareness about this at all levels, at all the levels of the education, that is the school, colleges. Even the grown-ups need this knowledge because they are not experts, and it is a myth amongst all people that this is the only requirement of the specialist that those should work. But everybody can contribute to this because we are creating a lot of solid wastes due to our living conditions. And in Mumbai alone, uh, it is 9,000 tons of solid waste generated. So if this awareness is expanded, it can be reduced only to one third. And we should begin with such small
Yes.
things. And I wish all the best to all the concerned who are involved in creating this awareness. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, sir, like for the audience, I will break it
Yeah,
down in the parts. So, I was
yeah,
commerce student. So, in commerce, there is a subject
yeah,
business studies. So, in business studies, the businesses that we have studied, the business has four
yeah,
major responsibilities. First,
yeah,
towards the community, social responsibility, ethical
yeah,
responsibility, code responsibility, and work responsibility, like work
yeah,
environment responsibility. So the social responsibility that the business has is that this the corporate social responsibility that we have now. So the companies need to do some gesture or provide some solution to the communities
yeah,
that they are around. Like for in my I live in Gurgaon, so in Gurgaon Maruti is the
yeah,
like it is the
yeah,
company that is
yeah,
situated in Gurgaon. So Maruti has developed so many schools, founded so many communities, and they do some programs as well time to time, so that the things get stable. Say they have some program of planting trees, and they have opened schools and this. So this also, sir, includes in corporate social responsibility. This
yeah.
is, am I right? Social
Yeah, that
responsibility.
includes corporate social responsibility. But my aim is to direct the corporate social responsibility towards environment protection by giving education to all the people at all levels. Yeah,
Yes, sir. So, like now in schools, kids are taught about
yeah,
planting trees and
exactly,
what's the
exactly,
environment effect
exactly.
that we will have, because our generation is like
Yeah,
borrowing
yeah,
environment from our
yeah,
future generation, because
yeah,
we are taking all the resources from that they should
yeah,
have in future. But
yeah,
um, unfortunately, the things that we have seen or that we have uh, experiencing, these some things will not there
yeah,
in future to
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
for the future generation.
There are there are
So
many
yeah,
parameters for
yes,
which CSR can be spent, and one of that is the protection of the environment. Yeah, that is what I am trying to
yes,
project. And instead of directly contributing to that, first creating the awareness amongst all, that stands as my first priority, because generation of the West is done by the human beings, and that can be controlled by creating the awareness. Yeah, yeah,
yes, sir. Yeah, sir,
yeah,
I totally agree. So sir, this comes to the my
yeah,
next question. So sir, what are the legal obligations that the company has to do corporate social responsibility
yeah.
or CSR?
uh, Certain categories of companies, based on their capital or their turnover, they are required to spend compulsorily 2% of the average of the net profits of the last 3 years. Uh, for the objects which are given in Schedule 7 of the Companies Act. So that spending cannot go beyond the boundaries which are created by the Schedule 7, and environment protection and poverty, uh, what is that? Poverty reduction are among those
Hmm.
things. So definitely this is coming within those CSR objectives, and there is no harm. There is a clear green signal that this amount can be spent by educating the people through the expenditure of CSR. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, what are the compliances that the company
Yeah,
needs to meet?
every year they have to allocate 2% of the funds, which are calculated on the basis of the
Hmm.
profit generated by the last 3 years. Yeah, and that has to be certified by CFO that those figures are right. And at the end of the year, they have to verify that amount is spent for the purposes given under Schedule 7 of the Companies Act. Yeah, that is the legal obligation.
So,
And
sir,
if that is not, after
hmm.
2020 amendment, if that
Hmm.
amount is not spent, then the companies are penalized for double the amount. Yeah, yeah,
Nice. So, sir, does that addition has been made to the auditing
yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
yeah.
So,
Certainly, there is a due audit of that, and many companies have
hmm.
been recently penalized for that also. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, sir, what are the potential benefits for
Mm.
corporation that embraces CSR? And because it must have impact their
Yeah.
reputation also. So, what
Yeah,
are the
yeah, yeah,
benefits for
yeah.
the corporation?
The companies were before the CSR becoming compulsory, they were spending on the CSR activities voluntarily,
Hmm.
but only after 2013 that has been made mandatory by the Companies Act under section 135, and India is the first country where it is made mandatory. CSR expenditure is made mandatory, and after 2020 it is penalized when that expenditure is not done. That indicates the seriousness of the government in implementing these CSR policies, and also the awareness that is created amongst the companies that they have to they must be answerable to the society at large while
Hmm.
simultaneously generating profits by doing the businesses. Yeah, that is the purpose of that. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, so sir, this takes me back to
yeah,
one incident. I
yeah.
was in a company as a auditor
Hmm.
with my mentor. So we were in
Hmm.
their canteen. So they have like
Hmm.
one machine that would generate
Hmm.
waste food. The people will throw the waste
Hmm.
food in
Hmm.
that machine, and that machine will generate
Yeah, yeah,
khad.
yeah,
Like I don't know
yeah,
what to
yeah,
pronounce it in
yeah,
English.
yeah,
Khad for the
yeah,
plants and materials. So I really
yeah,
like that idea
yeah,
of
yeah.
that machine.
That is the disposal. That is the way of uh, disposal of the waste in a way which is less harmful to for the resultant product of that waste. Yeah, when it is generating the khat which you said, that is used by the trees
Hmm.
for the growth. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir. So that idea was like I really
yeah,
like that. Like the food is uh, actually used,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Waste
waste
food
food is
is used
actually
for
used for something, and it is not going in
right,
dustbins
right,
and that.
exactly.
So
Like that, if this awareness is created at all levels, it will definitely
hmm.
benefit the society. And by educating the people for creating less amount of the waste generated, we will be traveling towards protecting the environment because it is generating lot of heat, lot of waste is generated, and that is generating lot of heat, and because of that only the glaciers are melting, and
Yes,
there is
sir.
a
Global
eco
warming.
imbalance which has already come to the alarming level. At international levels the things are also taking shape, but still that is I would say at a discussion level only. uh, I have written
Hmm.
one article related to Paris Agreement, which was done in 2015-16, and certain decisions were taken to implement at a global level, and there were several meetings hold holding every year about taking the level at which they have reached, as whether it was as per the plans or not. Like that, there was the last meeting was in COP 26 held in Glasgow on 22nd November 2022, which was postponed due to COVID, which was otherwise scheduled to be in 2021. And some new dimensions are established there, which are to be followed by all the countries in protecting the environments. And there are certain goals set up, because the temperature of this ecosystem is rising at the level alarming level of uh, 3-4 degrees centigrade, and the target is to keep it at a minimum of 1 to 1.5 degrees centigrade. And for that, you need to take some measures, and those measures are to be first discussed and decided, and money has to be spent, and the communications, etc., at all levels. All that is under motion, but still it is running with a very slow pace.
Yes, sir. So we can see the global
Yeah,
warming effect
yeah,
now in
yeah,
today's weather. So like in North India, the summer starts from March and it
yeah,
ends in June. So now the summers is not like so hot or
yeah,
like skin burning. So if there is hot one day, if the
yeah,
sun is like up one day, the next day
yeah.
it's raining.
Yeah, yeah. So there are many measures. Out of that, important measure is the less utilization of the fuels. No, that if you use
Hmm.
electricity for running the vehicles, a lot of energy will be saved, and a lot of pollution will be reduced to that extent. All are acting towards that goal, but still it is not sufficient so as to protect the environment in a desired way. Yeah,
Yes, sir. So Tata Motors is
yeah,
bringing like battery cars, so it will
yes.
change soon, and
Even I
people
can
are
see
using
in Mumbai
buses
also the best
everywhere.
buses are run on electric. They are gradually shifting from the diesel fuel to electric. That will save a lot of fuel also, plus the sulfur dioxide which is emitted through the carburetors. That will be completely stopped when all the vehicles are converted into electric vehicles. Also, uh, our roads are also getting widened, so the speed of the car
Hmm.
is also more. And now petrol is being replaced gradually by alcohols, so that will generate less heat and less pollution. All these measures are of course taken care of by the government at all levels, but still it needs cooperation from the public at large
Yes, sir.
in
I agree.
reducing the amount of solid waste they are generating. And then the economical use of water also. So many factors are contributing towards it. So by creating awareness of all the people through education, these can be controlled to a very significant level. That is why I am always insisting to all the corporates wherever I meet that they should spend the CSR amount for educating the people about the awareness of the environment. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So because if the organization employees will take initiative and other things, the other people
Yeah,
will join.
it is.
Like the
It is. It is not
society
only
will join.
that they can make use of the NGOs who are specialized for doing all these kinds of things, because company's main business
Yes.
is running the business for which they are
Hmm.
incorporated, and then generating profits. And when they are compelled to use this 2%, if they can do themselves, it's well. But many times they cannot do that because their main activity is different. So these things can be done through the NGOs who are voluntarily contributing to such factors, and they have experience of 20 years, 30 years, etc., and who are really in that business, they can help them. So companies can help them by spending this CSR expenditure. Yeah, and there are
Yes, sir.
and there
So
are more
Section
than
8
9 lakh NGOs in the country. So many of which are running that NGO for more than 20 years, and the companies can definitely utilize their services by giving them some service charges. Yeah,
Yes, sir. So Section 8 companies are
yeah,
also
it,
included
it,
in Section
it,
135 Clause 1 of the Companies
exactly,
Act.
exactly. Yeah,
So they also have that responsibility
yeah,
towards the community.
Hmm.
Yes, so what are the challenges and barriers that corporations
yeah,
face in
yeah.
implementing
The
CSR
the real
strategies?
challenge is the increasing population. It is throughout the globe, but more so in the countries like India and China, the population must be brought under control. That is the real challenge, because of the increasing population, lot of resources are to be shared, and so naturally there is a
Hmm.
reduction and cut in the utility for everybody when the population is rising. Because when a premises which was previously used by 10 people, now it is utilized by 22 people. Like that is the ratio. That is the bigger challenge. Another challenge is the uh, availability of the specialized people doing that job. So we have to generate a team of people who will do a specialized job, so that the things can be handled in a very economically and efficient and successful way. Because everything has a specialization, and if it is handled by a specialist, then only it can be of fruit. Yeah,
Yes, sir. So it's like the population fact that you
yeah,
said right now. It's like the uh, demand
yeah,
is very much, but the
yeah,
supply
yeah,
is very
yeah.
constrained.
That is the biggest challenge. Other challenges are implementation challenge, because specialized staff is not available. So we have to spend in training the people for that particular specialization, and and exactly that can be done through the CSR, and the companies are really doing also. And the scope of this CSR is quite good, because today more than 25,000 or 30,000 companies are spending more than 50,000 crores on CSR activities, and gradually it is increasing, and it is rightly being utilized, because the funds which were previously spent in a very unprofessional way, now it is handled by the
Hmm.
professional specialized for that. So naturally, we can see the good results happening also. So I'm very happy about it, that the things are handled by companies in a very professional way, the way they are doing their
Hmm.
business. That is a wonderful thing happening in India. And this amount and the number of companies coming under the requirement of spending CSR, that will go on increasing, because
Hmm.
today 12 lakh companies are there, totally active companies, and out of that 30-40,000 companies are compulsorily required to spend more than 50,000 crores as on today, and that may be on rise. So naturally, the society at large will be benefited out of this. So there is a always a silver lining to all the challenges also.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir. So, sir, I would give you a
yeah,
hypothetical
yeah,
situation. Okay. So, sir, you are the director
yeah,
of the company. Okay. And you have to, it's been like 10 years of your company and it has reached the limit that has been set for
mm,
using CSR. Okay. So, what are the steps that you will take? What are the plannings
mm,
you will do for the company to do
mm.
CSR activities in the organization or for the community at large?
Yeah. See, we have a company at a remote place, established at some remote place, just because there should not be any pollution, or it should be away from the locality. Now that has been surrounded by the jhoppadpattis because of the rising population. So naturally,
Hmm.
all the natural requirements for them like school, medical health system and all, that may not be available to them. So it is a moral duty also of the company to spend for that because they can't afford that education, taking education by going to some other cities and all. So all this can be undertaken by the companies, and companies are really doing that also. I can see because my company had a factory at 5 6 locations, and they were doing quite a lot for the donating to the schools and dispensaries, and putting the eye camps there for the operations of the old people, cataract operations and all. Like this, we can identify the real challenges in the surrounding area, and we can start attending to that. And as such, we have already got a fund of 2%, which is also running in
Hmm.
crores of rupees. So it is a good match that the requirement is also there, and there is a compulsion of this CSR expenditure also. So naturally, the whole system will be benefited out of the CSR activities. Yeah, which was previously not happening. So
Yes.
yeah.
Hmm. Yes. So, what will you tell to those companies who pollute the water bodies? So there are many companies who like throw their waste in the waters
Yeah, yeah,
around them.
they
So,
have to uh, use the completely pollution free processes which will not pollute that. So we have to replace the technology. That is the only thing which must be done, or they must treat the pollutants in a very professional way, so that
hmm.
that drainage water is not harmful to them. Yeah, that
Yes,
should
sir.
be done,
So,
and if they have mind to do it, they will do it, they can do it. Yeah, but
yes, sir. So,
but this
because
but this
there are
CSR
various.
expenditure cannot be done for that. Okay, they have to separately spend their
Okay.
business amount, not through the CSR activity. Yeah, that is
I mentioned this because there
yeah.
was a case in
Mm,
Delhi High Court that
mm,
one company was using all
mm.
the water of
Yeah,
a society, and like the society based nearest to
yeah,
the company, and the water was
yeah,
getting polluted and the people were
yeah,
getting sick, so they
yeah.
filed a petition, and then the court ruled out and
Mm,
said the company to
mm,
provide a safe
mm.
drinking water to every
Yes,
household which is near
yes,
the company, and it is their
yeah,
responsibility to clean up the waste that they have
yes.
created.
And it is a good welcome decision which the company should have
Hmm.
taken by itself, but because they may be very much profit oriented, so many times it has to be compelled through court decisions and all. That is very unfortunate, and that is what I say, that the awareness must be done. Awareness programs for the companies also must be done through CSR activities also, that that they should not use the resources of the other people for polluting them for their business purposes. So there are many cases happening, but that awareness must be there in the companies themselves, and at least this much is expected of them. Yeah,
Yes, sir. So they should
they
take
should take this.
responsibility if they
Yeah.
know they are doing something that
Yeah,
is not
if they don't take that
ethical or.
responsibility, then the pollution control boards are meant for that. They should take
Yes.
immediate measures to stop that pollution activity. Yeah,
Hmm. Yes, sir. So, sir, like, if you've seen the robot movie, Robot
yeah,
2.0, where the mobile phones generated towers were having effect on
yeah,
ecosystem. So, like that
yeah,
also
yeah,
is like I
yeah, yeah.
think is some
But
in
with the
area of
growing
CSS.
technology, with the growing technology,
Hmm.
that thing is incorporated in the design itself, so that it will not happen, because now everything is happening through fiber optic, no, which is replacing the
Hmm.
tower technology, and
Yes, sir.
that is incorporated in the design system itself, because the businesses are rewired in such a way that they use the latest technology which will reduce these harmful effects. But it cannot be suddenly stopped also, because mobiles and all, it's a very powerful way of communication, and yeah,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it cannot be stopped also, but it can be done
Hmm.
with the replace technology, which has less harmful effects. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So what I think is like the
Yeah.
technology and the environment should go
Yeah.
hand in hand. Like we like developing time to time is important as a human being because we need to
Yeah.
live in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
society and everything. But we have to be connected to our
Mm.
grounds as well, see what is going around us, and protecting the environment is also our
Mm.
responsibility as
Yeah.
a human being because we are using this land, so we have some
Right.
responsibility
Right.
towards this land. So yes, sir. So what advice would you like to give to the companies or and the individuals
Yeah.
for
I
the
was in UK
environment
for
purpose?
quite some time, and I saw
Hmm.
there that whenever you are using your water for using at even at home also, the charges are levied on the public at large. uh, those charges included the pollution control charges, and that activity is done by government itself, because then
Hmm.
in that case the question of the company not doing that will not arise, because the consumer is charged for that also, and that activity is done by the government itself. That kind of things can be tried here also, and gradually the things are shifting, because previously people were evading taxes, but now government has come with GST, that if you are not
Hmm.
paying tax on your income, it will be charged on consumption, because the moment you buy something you will be charged for that, so naturally that tax will be collected. So even if you are evaded tax, income tax, but you are paying consumption tax. So this kind of replacements, as per the necessity, government has a research mechanism for everything. You may wonder, our Indian government has a fantastic research departments for these taxes and all. So they are designing such things, and GST is a product out of that, and now it is running for say 5 years. It has far exceeded the income tax. GST revenue
Yes.
generation has far exceeded the income tax, indicating success, that you can evade income tax, but you cannot evade utility tax. So, like this, there are always evolutions in every process. So, that evolution has come through CSR activity, because the things should be done in a very professional way, professional management system, which is utilized by the companies for running their businesses. These the same business is directed to take care of the society at large. So these are welcome changes actually. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I have seen like in here I have seen some societies that have created like
Hmm.
three dustbins.
Yeah.
One is for
Yeah. Yeah.
recycling, one is for waste, and one is for like
Yeah.
non-biodegradable products. So like every family that lives
Hmm.
in the society is has the responsibility to drop and segregate the waste as per the
Yeah.
three labels. So that is also
Yeah,
a nice
it is a
step
nice
that has
step
been
taken
taken.
by government, because the what I am very happy about is there is a continuous thinking of doing the improvement in the system. That is a very welcome step in the society, which I can see, that they are continuously thinking how to improve upon the things so that the problems are reduced, and keeping the public at large at a comfortable level, because that is the ultimate responsibility of government as such. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So in this government, I have noticed that they do trial and
Error method.
error
Yeah.
method. That they will
Mm.
introduce something, and they will see what is the
Yeah,
response
yeah.
of the
Because in
whole
CS,
community,
yeah,
and
in
then
CSR, that has
yes, and
exactly
then
happened. First, they have given
yes,
them to do voluntarily, uh, and if
hmm,
they cannot do at one or two times, then okay. But then every year, the company started giving some excuses. So the company came with a
hmm,
compulsion after 2020 that they should compulsorily spend, and if they do not spend, they will be fined for that. Now it is working well. So that is
yes,
the proof that we are the human beings, and we will see for the excuses first rather than discharging the
yes,
responsibilities given to us if it is voluntary. If it is mandatory, then only you
yeah,
will do it. That is usual
yeah.
human factor. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. If we know that there is no consequences
Yes.
attached to it, then we will
Very
take it
light.
very lightly. But if we know that there is some consequence at
Exact.
the end, so we are like more
Right.
responsible towards it. So, sir, any message you want to give to the
Yeah.
audience at large?
The simple message is there. It is never complicated. That one must understand that we are in the ecosystem, whether we know or not, whether we like it or not, but we are influencing the ecosystem by our actions and inaction. First action is generation of the pollutants by using more vehicles. Uh, you are polluting more. But if we
Hmm.
collectively decide that instead of traveling alone, we should resort to the public system, public transport system, uh, that will solve many problems. Like that, uh, we are contributing to each other's comforts also if we go on a thinking way of solving the problems. So you should have
Yes.
continuously thinking process on about thinking how best I can do for this matter. If everybody thinks like that, and you must take that you are surrounded by the ecosystem, not only just the human being, but other plants and animals also. We should think of them also, that they are contributing to us by giving oxygen. So naturally, we have to protect them by not polluting that. So by creating awareness, at least 50% of the problems can be solved. That is what I have is always sincere thinking about that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. If we have like more of creative and problem solving mindset, then we will acquire
Yeah.
it more
Yeah.
soon. Yes, sir. So on this note, sir, thank
Yeah.
you very much for attending the
Mm.
podcast, for giving me your time, your
Yeah.
valuable
It
time.
was my pleasure to attend this podcast, and my sincere message to all is that take care of yourself, that will automatically take care of others. Yeah.
So this is the end of podcast. I hope you all like the podcast. Please like and share it. And this is me, Shikha Speaks, signing off. Thank you.